All right. Welcome, guys, to the September Health and Safety meeting. So today we have present myself, James. We've got Maria, the other Health and Safety Advisor, and Michael, the Plant Supervisor. So essentially today from this meeting, we're just going to run through some of the issues that were raised in the most recent inspection. And then we're going to just discuss these issues and come up with a corrective action plan just to hold people accountable and create a plan to rectify these issues. At any point, if anybody has anything they want to input, feel free to discuss it. And yeah, we'll basically just roll through the issues one by one, and hopefully by the end of this we'll have a corrective action plan that I can issue out to you guys so you guys can keep a track of it as well. Also on the side, I'll be doing a training matrix plan from any kind of information that comes from this. I'll just pop that into a training matrix and also email that out at the end. I'll be keeping minutes as we go through the meeting, so if you guys want anything added into the minutes, just let me know. And I'll also flip those out to people that aren't here as well. So we'll kick this off. So one of the first issues that we identified was in terms of chemical safety. So there's just been a lack of generalised chemical safety in terms of PPE storage, incorrect labelling, just things like that. So I will kick this one off and start by saying I just think we need to do like reviews of all the SDSs and just roll this out amongst our teams at our toolbox meetings. One of the ways I thought we could do this is at your next toolbox, just kind of issue an SDS out to each person and get them to review it, go make sure we have all the essential items in your departments, and then they'll share that knowledge with the group as well. Just that way we can get an engagement from the team. Any other thoughts on how we could do that, or are we happy with that?
Yeah, speaking on that, one of the team did let me know there was a bit of concern regarding the chemical storage and one of the doors there not closing. Maybe something that we thought I'd bring up in this forum here.
Yeah, that's perfect. So when we roll that out at your toolbox, say you guys do it next week, do you? Next week on Tuesdays?
Yep.
Yeah. So next week on Tuesday, obviously unless it's a urgent issue that needs to be rectified immediately, next Tuesday get your teams to go through those SDSs. And you'll be there obviously supporting them. We can be there as well as health and safety advisors, just to support your team, but they should identify that as an issue. And we can note that all down and get that all rectified. Any other suggestions from anybody?
Yeah, just with that, this is not so much regarding chemical cabinets, but I was doing my safety inspections the other day.
Yeah.
And I noticed a few things regarding barricading, but wasn't quite sure who I report to. I'm still a bit new to the role.
Okay, yes, so Maria, that is a good kind of segue into the training matrix, I suppose. So because I know you're quite new to this role, we're still obviously at the mentoring stage with yourself. I have noted in the training matrix to get you booked onto a course, a health and safety course, just to kind of give you a kick start. But we can sit down sometime this week, we'll go through your calendar and we'll schedule a time this week just to run through kind of how you go about reporting all that stuff.
Sweet, sounds like a plan.
Yeah, so I'll note that down. If you just hit me up after this meeting, we can run through that together.
Thank you.
Cool. So in terms of chemical safety, I myself will take this on board, and Maria will help me with this one. So we'll just attend your toolbox next week, and I'll get the other supervisors on board with their toolboxes, and we'll run through some relevant SDSs.
Roger.
Cool, so moving on, the next issue we have is the lack of machine guarding. So that's just in terms of like in the actual processing area, Michael, yourself, you'll know, the guarding that kind of blocks any critical parts of the machine where we can get, fingers, equipment stuck in. So it was just noticed in one area in particular there was a lack of guarding, which we've rectified for now, but I would just like to go through and just make sure there's no other issues in that area that can be picked up.
With that, do you know roughly the area, just so I can go down myself and have a look?
So the area that was picked up in the issue, we've already rectified that because that was a critical error.
Yep.
So that's already been rectified. But myself, I'd like to catch up with you sometime this week. If we can maybe just make a date now. And we'll both go out on the floor together, speak to the crew. Obviously, you know your machines best more than I do, so we can kind of go through the whole process line and just identify any areas that...
If we can jump in straight after this, it's a critical safety concern, and I do fly home tomorrow, so if that is the case, I want to get onto that as fast as possible.
Yep, so we can do that afterwards. Yeah, that's perfect. I will note that in there. So in terms of closing out the whole action, I'll take that one on myself, with the support of yourself, Michael, and we will put that as a one-day rectification because we'll get that done now, and we'll follow it up in a week with any issues that we had at our next meeting.
I'll hand it over to the incoming supervisor as well.
Awesome. Alright, any more comments on the machine guarding? Any queries, concerns?
No, you answered the one for me before.
Perfect. Alright, moving on. So, one of the other issues identified, we had lack of safety inspections. For me, this is quite a concern, just because that's where we can pick up, you know, all our daily, our weekly, monthly concerns, you know.
I think coming back to me, I did do them, but I just wasn't quite sure how to reach out and escalate any concerns. So that's a bit of a learning for myself as well.
Okay, yeah, perfect. I will note that down and we can put that in your training matrix. Perhaps this week when we catch up together, we can run through those daily, weekly and monthly inspections. Perfect. And just yourself, Michael, as well as a supervisor, you should be going through, I've noticed there's been a couple missed. You are quite consistent with it, but there has been a couple missed every now and then.
Yeah, that's on me. It's been pretty busy swing this week.
Yeah, that's all good. Just, yeah, we'll set alarms or something to, but obviously if you need any support with that, let me know. And I can always help out. So I'll put that action onto Maria. So she can identify that. And Maria, is 1 month to get your head around inspections kind of reasonable time period, do you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty inconsistent, but yeah, as long as you're willing to sit down with me and run me through a lot of the stuff, I'm sure I can get my head around it.
Yeah, no issues. All right, we'll put a 1 month date on that one, I think. Obviously, if you guys want any of this changed when I send it out, just let me know. Or if you don't think you're going to be able to stick to that timeline, just let me know and I can either give you support or we can look at pushing the date out. The next one is maintenance logs. So maintenance logs on like equipment and vehicles just has not been consistent. And even when it is being conducted, it's just not thorough enough, not enough information being input into that. Does anybody have any ideas on how we could kind of support the team and, you know?
I think for myself, cascading that information to the team and realigning some of it, if they're not doing it correctly, that's on us as leaders to ensure that it is being done for their own safety.
Yep. All right, awesome. So I think you're right with the leadership support. So perhaps yourself, Michael, just getting out on the floor with the crew a bit more.
Yep.
And getting their input as well, like, you know, can't have things without people engaging. So yeah, perfect. All right, so Michael, I'm going to put that one onto you. And are you happy to roll that out this week in your next, pre-start meetings?
I'll get it done tomorrow.
Get it done tomorrow, perfect. I will check in with you next week on how that's going. Another one of the kind of like holistic issues we had was just the lack of engagement from the workers on the ground. So people just weren't willing to engage in kind of the safety meetings, pre-starts, they weren't really engaging, hazard reporting, all the maintenance logs, people just aren't willing to get involved with it. do we have any ideas on how we can increase that engagement?
Maybe I could sit down and raise a few things within myself. I learned a lot through my training, so
Yep.
it would be perfect time for me to come and sit down and share my knowledge and what I know.
Okay, awesome. So, what time do you think the toolbox would be inappropriate?
Yeah, pop by in the toolbox. I think we'll bring in tomorrow, and I'll throw it to you on the floor, and don't be afraid to raise some of that. And then you got also me there, so encouraging them from a leader's point of view. We'll probably enforce that actually.
Yeah, awesome. So Maria will be jumping in with the toolbox with yourself, Michael, and that's Tuesday.
Yep, Tuesday.
Awesome. I know it's been missed a couple of times, obviously due to like how busy we are and things, but I just think having those health and safety meetings with our crew, those toolboxes, is really, really important, and getting the crews to do the work as well, not just us talking to them, getting the crews to involve themselves, like we discussed with the SDSs, get them to run through it and get them to do all the checks for it. Then they can kind of understand what they're looking for and what we require from that. So from that engagement point of view, I'm going to put that onto Maria and with the support of Michael. And I'm going to put that over a month. Next health and safety meeting we have, we'll review that and see how the engagement's going, whether it's improving or whether we need to implement something further. The next and final issue we have is just the lack of hazard reporting. So hazards in the workplace, people just haven't been reporting them. I personally have identified that it could be that it's quite difficult. Like I went out on the floor and there was just no hazard report sheets. So new starters, even experienced people, it's not easy to report hazards. And you don't want to have to be coming to your supervisor every 2 seconds for a minor hazard, especially if you've rectified it yourself. So from that, I've created a hazard report card, which I'm going to email through to you guys now so you can have a look. I've tried to keep it very basic so that it's accessible to everybody. And I'll get you to roll this out to your team, Michael, this week. And I'll pop along to your pre-starts and I can help you roll that out. But essentially, as you'll see, it's all just, you got that, Maria?
Yep.
Essentially what you'll see is it's all just basic. Basic. We can keep it basic. If we need any further information, we can go and see that person. But as you'll see, it's just name, your department, the date and time it took place, where it is, the type of hazard, which is just a tick and flick. Obviously people don't want to be writing essays on what the hazard was. There's a description section if they feel like describing the thing, a risk assessment, which is also going to help us to determine what people identify as risk and how severe they think the risk is. And any immediate action taken. So they're going to fill these out and hand them to the supervisors, okay? So if we can make sure ourselves and health and safety, we'll try and keep on top of it. But as a supervisor doing your inspections, can we just make sure these hazard report cards are kept stocked up in all areas? And then, yeah, they'll hand those into you. Do you have any alterations you guys would like to make to the hazard report card, or are you guys happy with it?
I think the best thing to do is trial by fire, put it out to the team and let them have a go at it. If they have any concerns, they'll raise it with us.
Yep. Potentially at the toolbox we could even go through and get everybody to fill out a hazard report card for a hazard in the workplace, just so we get an idea that people understand what they're doing. Alright, does anybody have any other comments regarding either this topic or anything in general in health and safety you'd like to bring up? Maria?
No.
No, nothing from you. Michael, anything from you?
No, not from me.
No, if you guys are happy, we will call it there.
Yep, sounds good.
Cool, and Michael will head out and look at that machinery.
Yep, straight after this. Perfect.
Cool. Alright, perfect. I'll email this all out to you guys, and we will see you at the next one in a month's time.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Cheers.
Thanks.